Hey GAWDA members, welcome to the September episode of GAWDA TV. It's hard to believe that we're just over 1 month away from this year's annual convention in Tampa, Florida. Today's convention update is brought to you by Air Products. Air Products touches the lives of consumers around the globe in positive ways every day. Focused on serving energy, environment, and emerging markets, Air Products provides essential industrial gases, related equipment, and applications expertise to customers in dozens of industries. We're lucky enough to be joined today, as we are each month, by GAWDA's Vice President of Operations and Administration, Natasha Alexis.
Thank you, Steve. I am very happy to be here with you today. And yes, the annual convention is around the corner. I can't believe how fast that this year has flown. It's September already. This is my favorite part about being a part of GAWDA, working for GAWDA, is coming together for our national meetings, seeing old friends, making new ones, and just watching the next generation of leaders in their friendships, developing their friendships and making connections. So for those of you who are already registered, thank you. We're excited to see you. Maybe a few of you are watching right now and are not yet registered. There's still time. You can go on GAWDA.org to see all the details on getting registered and what's to come for this event in Tampa. Now, we are coming together in Tampa to learn and build on the cultures in your businesses. Sustaining a resilient culture is the meeting theme. Many of you are experiencing shifts in leadership. You have multi-generational workforces. The annual convention committee has really handpicked some speakers and topics to equip you in handling these challenges in your businesses. Now, we're excited to have over 70 newcomers in Tampa. Newcomers are new members, which welcome to GAWDA, and some employees from established companies who are coming to a GAWDA national meeting for the first time. So we're all excited to welcome you. And our Member Services Committee has put together a very special newcomers event to help navigate this large event and GAWDA. Thank you, by the way, to our Member Services Committee for all that you do to welcome our newcomers. Newcomers, look out for an email from Jason Callis, I believe, who will be sending details on this event that will be coming to you soon. Steve, next, I want to highlight the kickoff event for the annual convention, which is the President's Welcome Reception, hosted by our President, Eric Wood, and his wife, Paula. We are going to be raising a glass. I wish I had a glass to raise, but I don't in my office, to celebrate 8 decades of excellence. What a legacy. We hope all of you will be there and join us to say cheers to GAWDA to 80 years. Next, Steve, I just want to highlight back for its 4th edition, the very popular Networking 360 event. The 360 event, as many of you have heard, I know our industry partnering committee, again, shout out to our volunteers who help us bring all these valuable new programs, events, initiatives to you, and GAWDA Media, Tim Hudson, for putting this together. But it's essentially a high-speed networking event. So let's say you're a supplier who's been looking for an opportunity to connect with a new distributor, or you're an established distributor who's had some relationships for a while, maybe haven't thought of changing or exploring other options. These pre-arranged meetings help you maybe to start a new relationship, which we have had feedback that it has happened. So a great opportunity, a space again, to offer value to our members. We're excited to continue that. Now, after these 5-minute meetings at the Networking 360, we have a sold out contact booth program with over 140 exhibitors. So these conversations can continue on the show floor. I just want to take a minute, Steve, if I may, to thank our supplier members. We could not do this without your support. We appreciate all of you, your decision to exhibit at our conferences, to sponsor our events. We're able to add more value to these meetings. So we just want to take a moment to say thank you to all of you. Lastly, Steve, this is a very special one for GAWDA, near and dear to our leadership. This is the 25th anniversary of GAWDA Gives Back. 25 years of giving back to the communities where we host our annual conventions. One of the things that we do at GAWDA headquarters is reach out to the local governments and mayor offices of these cities that we host our annual conventions at to learn more about the needs of the city. And when we share the information about who GAWDA is and GAWDA Gives Back, these local communities are just blown away by the generosity of our association. Something that I'm proud of and just want to mention to all of you, thank you for your continued generosity and support of GAWDA Gives Back, and specifically this year, Black Dagger, in this special 25th year of giving back to local communities. So I'm personally excited to see all of you, welcome you to beautiful Tampa, Florida. Florida, our home, and house to GAWDA headquarters. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns, anyone on the GAWDA headquarters team. Steve, thank you always for the opportunity to share more with GAWDA members. Have a fantastic week, everyone. Bye-bye.
Natasha, we can't wait to be with everybody next month in Tampa. We've got a lot more convention-related interviews coming up, so stick around right after a word from today's presenting sponsor, Weldcoa.
If your process requires a large volume of gas, cryogenic liquid, or supercritical fluid, we can automate it. Weldcoa engineers advanced systems that fully automate the connection between the bulk liquid supply and the application at hand. We have a proven history of designing custom systems for extractor units, CNC machines, vessel pressure testing systems, refueling systems, and more. If your process involves controlling gases, we can help. We are Weldcoa, your engineered gas control process experts.
Joining us first today on the show is our 2025 GAWDA President, Eric Wood. Woody, as we head into the home stretch of your year as GAWDA President, can you share with viewers what this whole experience has been like for you? Have there been any surprises or any moments that you especially cherished about this whole experience?
Overall, the experience has been great. Working alongside a lot of talented and people that are passionate about our industry and our organization. To develop stronger relationships, across our memberships, and having the ability to, collaborate with so many great people with new ideas. And, I'm proud of, the things that we did with, expanded offerings, and the teamwork and the creativity is commitment that I've, has made this role very professionally fulfilling for me.
You've worked with SMC and annual convention planning committees before, all the way up until this year when you became president. What was different about the experience when you were planning your shows? Going into the year, did you have any must-haves for your conventions?
Having the opportunity to be part of previous planning committees gave us a good sense of, really what went into planning an SMC and the work that goes into the annual convention. Certainly when it's your convention, it feels more personable and there's a bigger sense of ownership, of course. and even a greater desire to make sure every detail reflects well on our association. And going to it, I had a few must-haves. I wanted a location that made travel easy as possible, so members could focus on the experience and not the logistical challenges that could be associated. And I also wanted to make sure that the venue and the events that we had available during our convention was fits all personalities and interests, and puts together the best educational sessions that we could. And finally, I wanted to make sure that we threw a really good party at the end, because my two predecessors had really nice events and some really fun parties. And my wife, Paula, and I like to throw a party, so we're looking forward to that as well.
I think the Motor Enclave will check that particular box, so I can't wait to do that with you in Tampa. But I wanted to ask about your theme for this year, sustaining a resilient culture. I thought it was not only incredibly relevant for the state of the industry and the timing of GAWDA's 80th anniversary, but also to you personally, with O.E. Meyer being over 100 years old and literally having to sustain that culture for more than a century. Can you talk about what this year's theme means to you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the theme of sustaining resilient culture just came from what we were experiencing here at O.E. Meyer, and the changes that people are experiencing across our industry. And many of our businesses are going through changes, some very significant changes, where you may have new company owners, you may have new executives, new personnel, and those transitions can be exciting, but they're also challenging, and they challenge established cultures. And every new leader or a team member brings their own style and values, which can certainly strengthen what's in place, or if not handled thoughtfully, disrupt it. And we all look for better ways to improve our culture to make sure that people are having the best experience personally and professionally within our organization. And you certainly want to surround yourself with people that feel the same way. And when a business is like ours, and many of our peers have been around 100 years or close to there's a lot of different personalities, a lot of different types of people that come through an organization, and there's challenges associated with that. And we work hard every day to make sure that stays strong here. And the message was protecting the core values that make the culture strong. And as the GAWDA president, I've seen resilient culture and adapt during times of change. And when you have those shared values, I think clear communication, there's a lot of mutual respect within our organization. And to me, that shows it's very relevant today in our 80th anniversary year. And it's a reminder that culture is our foundation, and it's what will carry us forward to the next 80 years.
Obviously, we've still got the convention to look forward to, but up until now, has there been a particular highlight or something that you've been especially proud of during this year as GAWDA president?
Yeah, aside from the planning the convention and getting to hit regional meetings and all that good stuff, I really found the highlight and enjoyment in seeing the energy and the strength that our young professionals group has and the momentum that they have going. And I can certainly take no credit for that, other than it shows years and years of work previously to bring value and to share that value with membership and have people interested. And I'm proud of the new member programs that we've launched. We've seen volunteers very eager to get more involved, and the willingness to step up says a lot about the health of our organization. And beyond what the GAWDA team has accomplished this year, I'm personally very pleased also with the balance that maintaining the presidency while also being part of running a company. I'm happy and proud of the way that working through that, it wasn't as challenging as I thought it would be.
You just mentioned it. How have you been able to successfully juggle your responsibilities at O.E. Meyer with the responsibilities of being the president of GAWDA?
There's only one way that it's possible, and it is to have great partners and teammates. And when we decide to do things like this, we talked about it, and I have a tremendous amount of support here at Meyer and a tremendous team that does a fantastic job with or without me here. And so that and just time management, I think it's made me better here. Certainly, being part of that organization and having the responsibilities here at Meyer have helped certainly manage my time and prioritize projects and find time to fit other things like this in, which is been a tremendous learning experience. And just this work we're doing together on putting this video together is takes some time, and you just have to make time for it and have great people around you helping you.
During this year's convention, you'll have the opportunity to present this year's GAWDA Gives Back donation. The charity that you and Paula have chosen this year is Black Dagger Military Hunt Club. Can you tell us about what drew you to that particular organization and what you feel like that moment is going to mean to you, especially with this being the 25th year of GAWDA Gives Back?
Yeah, we're excited. The Black Dagger Military Hunt Club, it's an incredible nonprofit. It provides hunting, fishing, and shooting experiences for wounded warriors, disabled veterans, active duty military, and Gold Star families. They use the outdoor activities for recreation, but as a way to build camaraderie, restore their confidence, create lasting memories, and for those important men and women that have served our country and given us the ability to talk right now the way that we're talking. I'm passionate about hunting and the outdoors, and the organization immediately resonated with me. I have one of my best friends is a wounded warrior. I have several buddies that were in the desert, and they brought a lot home with them, and the value, the peace, and the challenge, and the connection that nature and hunting bring, and the idea of sharing that with veterans, many whom have sacrificed so much, felt like a good fit. And supporting them allows us to give back in a way that aligns with both personal passion and GAWDA's long-term tradition of generosity, and that's sure evident in the time here where we're celebrating our 25th anniversary. It's an incredibly meaningful moment for me and my wife Paula. By far, it's been one of the most rewarding parts of GAWDA, and is to meet this organization and realize that there's some really, really awesome people in the world, and we're looking forward to making a difference for them. So.
As you prepare to transition to past president, do you have any advice that you can offer to your successors, specifically to Allie and Kevin?
Yeah, I would just say don't sweat it. I think there's even myself, I had maybe a misrepresentation or stereotype of what this role would take, and the amount of time it might take, and the amount of work it might be. And I can say that I would do it again. And the GAWDA team is absolutely fantastic to work with. GAWDA Media, they're okay, but no, everybody has been fantastic. And the balance is there, and to all the people that are willing to volunteer, GAWDA headquarters does most of the work. So a lot of smart people around you to make you successful.
Before we go, did you have any last messages for the membership?
As I prepare to transition from president to past president, my message is pretty simple. Please continue to support our convention, our organization, and take full advantage of the services that GAWDA offers. Please consider donating to Black Dagger Military Hunt Club, and your engagement, participation, generosity are what keep our association strong and our impact meaningful. So I appreciate y'all listening to me today, and I look forward to seeing all of you in Tampa.
Woody, congratulations on an amazing year as president. We really enjoyed working with you throughout the year, and we appreciate you being with us today. We're lucky enough to be joined next today on the show by the Industry Partnering Committee's co-chairs Terry Scanlan and Luke Martin, as well as Greg Byer from Indiana Oxygen. During this year's annual convention in Tampa, the IPC will be hosting its 4th annual Networking 360 event on Thursday, October 9th from 7:30 to 9 o'clock a.m. Terry, ahead of this year's event, what should GAWDA members be aware of?
Hey, that's nice. That's a great lead-in, Steve. There's a few things I want to talk about before I, start discussing this with Luke and Greg. But just in terms of introductions, Luke Martin, Middlesex Gases, well known in the circles of GAWDA. Greg Byer, representing Auction. Greg has been a participant in the GAWDA annual conferences, the SMCs, for a number of years now. And so the purpose of today's discussion, I just wanted to get Luke and Greg's views and their experiences on the 360 program and what value both of their companies have taken from it. So as Steve mentioned, we've been doing this now for 4 years. And what it is, it's essentially speed dating on a business-to-business level. And we do it in a kind of a station type atmosphere where we have stations set up for 50 distributors. And then the distributors are introduced to, there's a total of 100, but they don't see 100 vendors. They actually see 10 vendors over the course of that 1 hour program. The program is established to coincide with the contact booth program. So you're in at the contact booth at the 360 program, you finish up there and you head right into the contact booth program. So why was it set up? Well, we got some feedback from our smaller vendor partners that participate in GAWDA. Great companies, but they asked, are there other opportunities that we can meet with the distributor community? Because let's face it, when we all come to GAWDA, we have our agendas, and quite often we end up speaking to the largest suppliers, largest gas suppliers, largest equipment, consumable suppliers. So some of the vendors who are excellent companies sometimes miss out on those face-to-face opportunities. So we created the 360 program with the help of GAWDA Media, we being the Industry Partnering Committee. It certainly takes a team to win on this program. So what we did is we think we created something that's fun, takes a little bit of stress out of meeting folks for the first time, and it's short. So these conversations, short and direct to the point. So not a lot of time for idle chatter. So with that, I'd like to talk to you, Luke, and Greg about your experiences. And I'm going to start with Greg. So Greg, tell us how long that you've participated in the 360 program.
So Indiana Action itself was part of the original program. So we've been doing it for 4 years. Last year was the first time that I was involved with it. That was a great program. As Terry kind of hit on, we've got the normal people we deal with, we see on a regular basis. We've not worked with BNR compliance, good guys. We hit it off very well right from the start. From that meeting, we've used them a couple times in some instances that, we just didn't have the expertise that they did, and what I liked about that is, it's hard to get on people's calendars. If and it's sad if I don't know you, it's gonna be hard to get on my calendar. If I get a referral, okay, maybe you'll get on there. But doing the little speed dating thing was great. You get 5 minutes with these people. BNR worked out great. Had another company come through that was really excited to meet with Indiana Auction and talk to us and realize that their product doesn't fit what we were doing. All right. So from their standpoint, they're going, well, this is great. I'm not going to take any more of my time. I'm not going to take any more of my resources and try to work on an opportunity that just isn't there. So, it's when you look at this, it's like, what can I get out of this? Can I sell more product to, a new company? Yes. But sometimes you might find out that we're not a fit and you're not going to take any more of your time and go down a path that's not going to generate any revenue for either party. So really good program. It's fun. It's exciting. That's the thing that I got at first. I'm like, speed dating, this is going to be boring, but no, it's kind of fun. Everybody's got their couple, 3-minute story about what's going on in their world. And then you get down to business for the last 2 minutes and it's like, man, it's over. That's quick. So very fun. If you've not been part of it, stop by and see what's going on. I think you'll get some good out of it. And again, you're going to meet some people that you haven't met in the industry, and you never know. You might find that connection that's really going to help your business.
That's awesome feedback. Thank you, Greg. And so, Luke, can you tell us about some of the experiences that Middlesex Gases has had, and how long you've been participating in it, and some of the takeaways that you have from the 360 program?
Sure, yeah. So I'll start by saying I joined the IPC, 3 years ago. So the 360 program in Hawaii was the first one I was a part of. So helping out there, I realized how good of an event it was. Seeing the amount of people that came, and really took a lot away from it. Middlesex Gases at the time, we didn't have anyone at that particular event. But the following year, in Phoenix, I really told our team that this is really something we should be a part of. Have you guys ever thought about joining this before the contact booth? And there wasn't as much and traction before that, and I don't think they really kind of knew enough about it to be interested in it. So I told them rather that it is a great event, and it's kind of the initial part of the contact booth where you really build that connection, and you can start off by getting a quick intro to a couple, distributors, about, 5-minute sessions, and then going in and continuing that conversation at the contact booth program. And I think, for Middlesex, and we've been, going to GAWDAs for, so many years, you kind of get in that trap of thinking, okay, well, I already know who I'm going to see, in advance. And, this is kind of it, year after year. Well, you really, don't know what you don't know until you join an event like the 360 program, and you kind of expand your network, and you realize, oh, well, there's a lot more, suppliers, out there that maybe I, haven't been in contact with, that could really, make an impact for our company. So, we did have, the last year's 360 event. Our sales director and one of our operations manager, and they came back to me and they said, wow, yeah, I'm really glad you kind of told us about this. And, we did, take away, at least one thing, which is, huge. We kind of go into that mindset into these events and saying, well, if you can just have one takeaway that, pays for the whole trip, then it's worth it. And I think this 360 event and making a new connection was one of those. So it was a good event, and they were definitely glad that, they took part in it.
So thank you, Luke. So if a distributor came to you, Luke, or to you, Greg, and said, yeah, I'm on the fence whether I want to commit time to the 360 program, what would you suggest to them?
Oh, it's definitely worth spending time on. And it's not that much time. I mean, it goes very quickly. That we've got the nice thing about the annual convention. There's some blocks of time where you have availability to do this. Filled up with this. I mean, it was fun. I don't know the last time I said that I went to an event that was fun. It just is. I mean, I think there's just inherently it's kind of funny and awkward speed dating for businesses. I don't get this, but it's worth checking out. No, it really is. And you're going to make a new connection. You never know when that connection is going to be important. It might be immediately, might be down the road, but definitely worth seeing. It really is.
Yeah, and I'd add to that. I would say, come with an open mind to these, and be looking to, expand your network. And, just because, you go to these events, you kind of year after year, and you think everyone. Well, there could be a new supplier there, and maybe you make that connection at the 360 event. And yeah, it's a fast pace. It's a fun, event. It's just a quick introduction, kind of a quick appetizer for the contact booth. But we have people that come year after year for the past 4 years that have been doing this, and they continue to come. So they find value in it, and I think they can bring back some value to their companies as well. So come with an open mind and look to expand your network.
Hey, thanks, Luke and Greg. Great feedback, great ideas, great reasons why people should participate in the 360 program. So Luke, Greg, myself, we appreciate your time as members of the IPC. We're really looking forward to a fantastic 360 program this year. We're looking forward to a fantastic annual event, the annual conference in Tampa. But I want to remind you, as a distributor, you still have time to sign up for this program. And as Greg and Luke have said, it is definitely worth your time. So we look forward to seeing you in Tampa this year. Thank you.
Terry, Luke, and Greg, thank you so much for being with us today. We can't wait for this year's event in Tampa. For more information about this year's event, click the link in the description below. If you're a distributor who wants to sign up for the event, contact Terry or Tim Hudson using the emails in the description below. After the break, we've got an interview with Sal Calandra from B&R Compliance about the benefits and best practices of participating in the event as a supplier.
Are you a gas distributor, plant manager, franchise owner, or operations manager? Do you work around hazardous gases such as carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, ammonia, methane, or argon? Meet the MSC2 CO2Meter's fixed multi-gas detector, your industrial gas safety solution. Feel confident knowing your staff, employees, and establishment are protected when working near hazardous gases. Don't wait until it's too late. Shop the MSC2 fixed multi-gas detector today at CO2Meter.com.
Before the break, you heard Greg Byer mention a great meeting that he had had with B&R Compliance during the Networking 360 event. Joining us next today is the president of B&R Compliance, Sal Calandra. Sal, thank you so much for being with us today. B&R has participated in the Networking 360 program each year since it was launched. Can you share with viewers what your experience has been and what keeps you coming back every year?
So it was an interesting idea when GAWDA Media and GAWDA started it, and you guys have done a great job putting it together. As a supplier to the gases industry, I think it's a really great way to meet some key people at potential customers in a very short period of time. A lot of the discussions we've had have led to future discussions in the expo or just during networking opportunities. So it's a really good icebreaker and a great way to meet some people you might have not have met otherwise.
Like you said, the idea is to kickstart the conversation. Every participant has their own strategy going into their 5-minute discussion. Is there anything that you found that the most successful conversations have in common?
I think if you're a gas distributor, you will obviously know where your pain points are in your business. And when you start thinking about compliance or training and things like that, if you have any pain points in those areas, like for us, that's what we would want them to talk about. But in general, as long as the gas distributors bring some of their areas that they're hoping to improve, and the suppliers are going to offer solutions. I know that's what we look to do. We're not looking to specifically sell a certain thing to everybody. It's how can we help make your business better?
Obviously, you're on the supplier side of the business, but if you were a gas distributor, what do you think would be the draw for participating in the event?
I think as a distributor, the draw is the same. There's a bunch of suppliers there that would love to do business with the distributors. And if there's an opportunity to help, the suppliers are going to want to do that. I think probably one of the keys is getting the suppliers to request the right distributors. But I can tell you, as a supplier, I don't know who the right distributors are because I'm not working with them. I'm not in their business. So if the distributors bring known challenges with them, that if they spend a little bit of time up front and talk and think about what could B&R Compliance bring to us potentially where we're having some challenges, or really any other supplier for that matter. If there's a little bit of research done by the distributors, I think it can make it an even more effective conversation.
Before the break, we heard from Indiana Oxygen, who you were able to kick off a successful relationship with during the Networking 360 program. Can you talk about any other success stories that you've experienced coming out of that event?
From a success perspective in terms of having good interactions. Over the last 3 years, we've met a lot of new distributors that we weren't doing business with prior, and just getting out there and talking to people and networking is always going to be beneficial. And as long as you're delivering on what you promised to deliver, word of mouth will also help grow your business. And, I view the Networking 360 as that opportunity to initiate some conversations. Sometimes we'll also meet with distributors that we're already doing business with, but they may not be aware of certain services that we offer or things like that. And during those conversations, we may hit on a topic where they have a need and we can support.
We've got just over a month left before this year's Networking 360. Can you offer any last-minute advice for this year's participants to ensure that the event is a great success?
As a supplier to the industry, I would say you don't want to miss the opportunity to participate in Networking 360. There's no better way to meet a bunch of key people at gas distributors in a very short period of time. The GAWDA meeting as a whole is a great place to network, but the Networking 360 just kind of facilitates that and gets the discussions going for an overall great event.
Sal, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your story. We can't wait to see you in Tampa. Once again, for more information about this year's Networking 360, click the link in the description below. GAWDA Media is the go-to resource for news and information about the gases and welding industry. Through our wide variety of publication platforms, GAWDA Media keeps our members up to date on all of the most breaking news, emerging trends, and member events in the industry. Want to get your company's message seen? We have a quarterly print publication, a twice-monthly newsletter, an online buyer's guide, and a twice-monthly news show. If it's happening at Gas and Welding, it's happening on GAWDA Media. Want to learn more? Contact your GAWDA Media representative today. Today's member news segment is brought to you by Anthony Carts. Check out the new CB6 6C 2WL HT cylinder cradle with full 360-degree mobility and heavy-duty handling today. This cradle is a rugged and highly maneuverable solution for transporting and storing industrial gas cylinders with ease. Whether you're operating in a fabrication shop, gas distribution center, or field service operation, the CB6 6C 2WL HT offers unmatched versatility and strength. Learn more or request a quote at Anthony's website, www.anthonycarts.com today. We begin today's member news segment with some sad news. GAWDA extends its condolences to the friends and family of Donald Kelly Root, who passed away on July 24th. Kelly was the owner and vice president of sales of Capital Welders. He led with heart, humor, and humility, always making sure his employees felt valued, respected, and part of something bigger, and he will be missed by all who knew him. In happier news, the third quarter 2025 issue of Welding Gases Today is online now and should be on desks in the next couple of weeks. The Q3 issue is the annual milestone issue and celebrates GAWDA members with milestone anniversaries in 2025. American Welding and Gas appointed Dennis Harris as its new CEO. AWG also announced that it acquired First Call Propane, expanding its operations into Utah. Baker Hughes acquired Chart Industries for $210 per share, equivalent to a total enterprise value of $13.6 billion. Cameron Welding Supply and Buckley Welding Supply both joined the Meredith Gas Partners. Holston Gases acquired the propane business of Chilton Propane Gas Company. Airwater America welcomed Jeremy Ramage as its new Vice President of Operations for its industrial and packaged gas division. Innovative Optics and Innovative Laser Safety were both acquired by Laser Vision USA. Superflash promoted Brittany Fichter to Sales Representative and Marketing Coordinator. MK Morse announced Jacob Lilly as its new Regional Sales Manager. Fast Test Inc. appointed Brian Boyle as its Vice President of Global Sales. And finally, IWDC Eastern Regional Sales Manager Greg Mayer announced his retirement. We wish you well in retirement, Greg. To learn more about any of these member news items or to submit member news of your own, read the complete September 1st issue of the GAWDA Connection in your email inbox today or by clicking the link in the description below. And that's our show for this month. Once again, registration is still open for the Networking 360 program for distributors. To learn more about Networking 360 or to register, click the link in the description below. We can't wait to see you all in Tampa next month. Until next time, for all of us here at GAWDA TV, this is Steve Guglielmo signing off.